Good evening and welcome to the September 20th, 2021 regular meeting of the Mayor and City Council. First item on our agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'd like to invite City Manager Tanisha Briley to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Tanisha. Next on our agenda is reflection, and I wanted, we learned some unfortunate news today of the passing of Charles Farrell, who was 93 years old, a longtime member of the Police Advisory Committee, longtime resident of the East Deer Park neighborhood. Charlie was a former health physicist and with both the Atomic Energy Commission and the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and was active all his life, even to the end with the Boy Scouts. He was tremendous supporter of the Boy Scouts and his church, Epworth United Methodist. I think all of us knew him and his late wife, Donnie Sue, and we send our very best wishes to his family, friends, and neighbors. We will miss Charlie Farrell, and we're grateful for the years that we had with him. So if we could have a moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. Next on our agenda is approval of minutes. And tonight we have, let me see, 3 sets of minutes. The first being from the work session on August 23rd. What is the pleasure of the council? Mike.
Mr. Mayor, I move approval of the minutes from the joint work session Monday, August 23rd, 2021.
Thank you, Neil.
Second the motion.
Okay, I will call the roll. All those in favor say aye, any opposed say nay. Council Vice President Sesma.
Aye.
Council Member Harris.
Aye.
Council Member Wu.
Aye.
Council Member Sales.
Aye.
And Council Member Spiegel.
Aye.
All right, that carries 5-0. Next, we have the minutes from the regular session on August 30th. What is the pleasure of the council? Lorianne, please.
Mayor, I'd like to move the approval of the regular session minutes from the August 30th meeting.
Okay. Mike.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, I will call the roll. All those in favor say aye, any opposed say nay. Council Vice President Sesma.
Aye.
Council Member Harris.
Aye.
Council Member Wu.
Aye.
Council Member Sales.
Aye.
And Council Member Spiegel.
Aye.
All right, carries 5-0. And our last set of minutes tonight is from the work session on September 13th. What is the pleasure of the council? Ryan.
Move approval.
There was just like a big pause. I was wondering what was wrong with those minutes. Okay, Neil.
Second the motion.
Okay, I'll call the roll. Council Vice President Sesma.
Aye.
Councilmember Harris.
Aye.
Councilmember Wu.
Aye.
Councilmember Sales.
Aye.
And Councilmember Spiegel.
Aye.
All right, carries unanimously. Thank you all very much. Next, we have appointments. And there's really 2 sets of appointments here. The first one being to Senior Advisory Committee, Educational Enrichment, and Environmental Affairs. What is the pleasure of the council? Mike, please.
Mr. Mayor, I'll move a resolution of the council confirming your appointments and reappointments to the Senior Advisory Committee, a new appointment, a 2-year term to Angela Davis, her term to expire September 2023. Reappointments to the Animal Control Board, a 3-year term, Jamil Hernandez, term to expire September 2024. To the Educational Enrichment Committee, a 2-year term, Teresa Wright, term to expire September 2023. And a reappointment to the Environmental Affairs Committee, Alex Stavitsky Zainadin, term to expire September 2023.
Okay, I see Neil's hand first. Go ahead, Neil.
I second the nominations.
Okay, Then I will call the roll. Council Vice President Sesma,
Aye.
Councilmember Harris,
Aye.
Councilmember Wu,
Aye.
Councilmember Sales,
Aye.
and Councilmember Spiegel.
Aye.
All right. Carries unanimously. They are appointed and we shall thank them when we see them. Next, we have a second appointment here to the Board of Supervisors of Elections where we have to administer an oath after the vote. What is the pleasure of the council? Lori Ann, please.
Mayor, I'd like to move the approval for the oath of office to Board of Supervisors of Elections to the is this for Diego
Yes, yeah.
Figueroa?
Okay, for Diego Figueroa, do we have a second? Mike,
I'll second the appointment to the Board of Supervisors of Elections.
great. Okay, I will call the roll. Council Vice President Sesma,
Aye.
Councilmember Harris,
Aye.
Councilmember Wu,
Aye, but are we sure I guess it's a Lynn question. The motion was on the oath, not on the appointment? I know Mike corrected that, but should we have an initial motion?
The motion should be to approve the appointment.
That's what I seconded.
Yeah, so would the maker of the motion want to amend the motion to approve the appointment?
Yes, so I'd like to move the approval to amend the motion for the appointment to the office of the Board of Supervisors.
good. Okay, so Lynn, the votes we've had so far still count, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, all right, well then Councilmember Sales.
Aye.
Rob, did you vote?
Aye.
Okay, and Councilmember Spiegel.
Aye.
Okay, thank you all. Tech team, if you could bring up Diego Figueroa, we will administer the oath. Good evening, Diego.
Good evening, Mayor.
Welcome. So what I'd like you to do, Diego, is just raise your right hand so we can see it, and then just we'll need you to unmute too. So unmute first before you raise your right hand because you might need it. And then just repeat after me. I, and then state your name.
Okay. I, Diego Figueroa,
Do affirm
do affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that I will
and that I will
be faithful and bear true allegiance
be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality and prejudice,
execute the office of Board of Supervisors of Elections,
execute the office of the Board of Supervisors
of Elections
of Elections
as an alternate member,
as an alternate member
according to the United States
according to the United States
and Maryland constitutions,
and Maryland constitutions,
the laws of this state,
the laws of the state,
and the Gaithersburg City Charter and Code.
and the Gaithersburg Charter Code.
The Gaithersburg City Charter.
The Gaithersburg City Charter Code.
Well done.
Thank you.
Diego, thank you very much. We appreciate your service.
Thank you, Mayor Ashman.
And I'm a little apologetic about the clunkiness of the language of this oath. We
That's okay.
recently looked into it, and it is based on state law that it has to be that language. So it is what it is.
That's fine. Thank you so much, Mayor.
Thank you. We appreciate your service.
Thank you,
Okay.
everyone. Thank you.
All right, we will move on to the next agenda item, and tech team, I'm going to need your help with this one too after you move Diego over to the other room. If you can bring up the Hispanic Heritage Month proclamation, that would be great. And I'm going to ask Council Vice President Sesma to read background material here. Mike, you are muted.
Thank you, Mayor. It's my pleasure to introduce the proclamation and make the presentation from the Mayor and City Council designating September 15th to October 15th as Hispanic Heritage Month in the city of Gaithersburg. National Hispanic Heritage Month began in 1968 as Hispanic Heritage Week under President Lyndon Johnson. In 1988, President Ronald Reagan changed the designation to a 30-day time period covering the dates September 15th through October 15th. The date of September 15th is historically significant as it marks the anniversary of independence of 5 Latin American countries: Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. The designation period also includes Mexico and Chile, which celebrate their independence on September 16th and 18th, respectively. According to the US Census, Hispanic Americans are identified by parts of the world that they or their ancestors came from, including Puerto Rico, Cuba, Mexico, Spain, and the countries of Central and South America. In honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, the Multicultural Affairs Committee is presenting a month-long virtual educational and cultural presentation on Facebook and has partnered with De Colores Mexican Folk Dance Company to exhibit Altar de Dia de los Muertos at the Activities Center at Boer Park, 506 South Frederick Avenue. This the display, the Altar de Dia de los Muertos, will be you'll be able to view it on weekdays from October 25th through November 3rd, 2021, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's definitely a must-see exhibit. I think this is, we've been doing this now for several years, and a number of people bring an ofrenda to represent and memorialize their lost, their past loved ones. Accepting the proclamation from the city is Carolyn Camacho, Program Director and Youth Ambassador of Identity. Identity is a nonprofit organization that supports families who live in high poverty areas in Montgomery County and has demonstrated an extraordinary commitment and support of the Latino youth and their families. Their primary focus is to assist all at-risk youth who need help through various activities, including school-based programs, youth opportunity centers, and soccer programs. The youth who benefit from these programs are 77% Hispanic Latino, 17% Black African American, and 6% are of various other ethnicities. Identity empowers Latino youth and other historically underserved youth in Gaithersburg to reach their highest potential and work towards a successful transition into adulthood. During the pandemic, Identity created a group of youth safety ambassadors who continue to work on community outreach, providing information about services available within the community, include access to food, COVID vaccines, and COVID testing sites. So we're really grateful and happy to be working with Identity again, but especially during the pandemic. Identity envisions a just and equitable society that nurtures all youth and is enriched by their contributions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much, Mike. I happen to see Carolyn Camacho is in the attendee list. Carolyn, if you want to say something, if you want to speak, I'll give you an opportunity. Just use the Zoom raise hand function. Right now, you do. Okay, tech team, if you could bring up Carolyn, that would be great. And we'll invite her to say a few words.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, no, just on behalf of, I had invited some of the youth safety ambassadors to be here. I'm not sure if they're in the room, but I just want to thank the city council and the city for sharing this proclamation and asking us to be here to accept it. And it's a great honor. And we are so proud of our youth safety ambassadors and the service they've provided to the residents of this wonderful city during the pandemic, like Mike said, and being such faithful participants in the Adopt a Neighborhood program with the Gaithersburg Cares Hub. So it's just, we're really proud to see them part of the solution in their community. So thank you all very much.
Carolyn, thank you very much. And please express our thanks to everybody in the program and keep doing the good work you're doing.
Thank you. Thanks to all of you.
You bet. Okay, next item on our agenda is the second quarter 2021 Employee Recognition Awards. And I'm going to turn it over to Tanisha to lead us in this topic.
Sorry, it was a pesky mute button there. Thank you, Mayor Ashman. This is, as you know, one of my favorite things to do is to brag about the wonderful team of Gaithersburg staff that serve this incredible community. So this evening, I will be presenting the second quarter Employee Recognition Awards. And I would like to congratulate Wes Rhodes and the Parks, Recreation, and Culture Aquatics team winners. They are the winners of the 2021 Employee Recognition Award for the second quarter, which runs April 1st through June 30th. The winners were nominated by their peers, and final selections were made by the Employee Recognition Committee, which is comprised of employees from each city department. Wes Rhodes is in the Office of the City Attorney. He is a paralegal. He was nominated for his consistency and accuracy in ensuring electronic approval of documents and contracts, and for his willingness to assist others. As you might imagine, we have shifted most of our contract management to an electronic system during the pandemic, and Wes has been integral in that process. In addition to regularly drafting contracts and amendments, Wes recently took the initiative to create new templates for the Community Services Contract Awards and to update other contract templates as needed. His coworkers note he is quick to respond to requests for assistance and acknowledge the extra effort he makes to help them with contracts and assist them through the approval process. The aquatics team in the Parks, Rec, and Culture Department is comprised of Parks and Rec and Culture staff members Keegan Kim, Lauren Hydorn, and Moro Batata. The team was nominated for their work in overseeing the renovation of the pump and filter room and maintaining the aquatic center. At the same time, they volunteered to assist where needed, including helping with senior meals, assisting community services with deliveries for the CARES Hub, and serving as Zoom monitors for virtual recreation classes. The aquatics team has continued stepping up to the plate to maintain the aquatic center and assist the community overall. Congratulations to all of our winners.
Thank you so much, Tanisha. And I want to, on behalf of the council, and I'm sure you'll hear more from the mayor and council, express our congratulations to Wes, Keegan, Lauren, and Moro for their great work. We're really proud of them. Next on our agenda is public comments, and it's the time the mayor and council like to hear from anybody who'd like to speak on any topic that's not a public hearing topic. It's easy tonight because we don't have any public hearings tonight. We ask that you keep your comments to no more than 3 minutes. If you have more than 3 minutes worth of material to deliver to us, you can send it to us in writing. Just email cityhall@gaithersburgmd.gov. Tech team, can you play the instructional video for anybody who's interested in speaking tonight? Tech team, we don't have, I'm not hearing any sound on this video. Were you guys hearing sound on that video? Okay. All right, well, I'll just, a lot of us are used to. Go ahead, tech teams. Let's see if it works.
Good evening. If you've connected to the meeting tonight via Zoom and you're on a desktop or a laptop and you wish to make a public comment, we can't currently see or hear you. What you need to do, please, is wiggle your mouse around and look towards the bottom center of your screen. You should see a raise hand button. Go ahead and click on that now for us, please. Alternatively, if you've connected in via telephone, you can press *9.
Thank you, Tech Team. I'm glad that worked out. Is there anybody in the public who'd like to speak tonight? Not seeing any hands thus far. Okay. Then we appreciate it. Thank the people for being here and for watching. And we'll move on to from the mayor and city council. And we're going to start with council member Lorianne Sales.
Thank you, Mayor. So welcome back after the Labor Day holiday. I didn't realize it had been so long since we last saw each other. So in addition to Hispanic Heritage Month, it's also African Heritage Month, starting the month of September. So I attended the county's 13th annual proclamation of African Heritage Month. So that was great. We also welcomed back the Kentlands Lakelands 5K. And it was so nice to see so many residents and visitors in attendance participating in this program that provides so much resources, so many resources for programs in our city. So thank you to all of the participants and congratulations again to all of the winners. I attended the bricklaying ceremony for the late Shadell Canty. She was a graduate and a staff member of the Wells Robertson House. And so we were so happy to join with her family and loved ones to memorialize her at the facility. I also attended a rally for the Afghan refugees. The state of Maryland may be receiving refugees, and so we may have some new residents coming to Montgomery County. And so a rally was held a few weeks ago to discuss the resources available. I believe staff from the city have already been contacted about resources for Afghan refugees, and hopefully we will be able to hear any updates for anything that is available for anyone who is coming to Gaithersburg. The Maryland Municipal League also held their annual board retreat for the board members, board of directors in Salisbury. And I serve as the National League of City Liaison. And so we discussed quite a few topics, succession planning for the league's executive director. I think he is contemplating retirement. And so we want to ensure that all of the good programming and best practices continue and in his absence. We also talked about, the future of the organization and visioning exercises to discuss where we want to see the organization go and how we can optimize technology to improve engagement and planning within the organization, and how that's going to facilitate, how that's going to translate into how we look at legislation on a range of committees. We also talked about mask mandates. Some of our municipalities from across the state have already implemented mask mandates. And so I think we're going, not just mask mandates, but vaccination mandates. And so I believe the league will be putting forth some recommendations. We also have a conference coming up for the fall. So all of that is being considered now, should we have mandated vaccinations. And I believe the city is also contemplating mandatory vaccinations. So maybe we'll get an update about that as well. The county's museum, the Sandy Springs Museum, held a dedication for the women's suffrage marker. As you may know, it's been 101 years. We didn't get to celebrate the 100-year anniversary of the women's suffrage movement. And so they dedicated a marker at the Sandy Springs Museum, memorializing some of the Maryland women who contributed and participated in the women's suffrage movement. So it's really nice to meet some of the family members and join with other women across the community to celebrate this dedication. I joined my colleague, Mike Sesma, and our city manager and our assistant city manager for a brief tour virtually in person of our Shady Grove Medical Center to hear about some of the plans for their new addition. This is the closest hospital for most of our residents, and so they've seen an uptick in attendance from in visits from the community, and so glad that they are expanding and serving our residents in a convenient location. And so we're going to be in close talks and supportive of their addition and be supportive however we can to ensure that we have a facility that our residents can accommodate our residents. I did get a chance to catch the tail end of a really interesting event that the city hosted, the community museum, along with the city's Parks and Recs department. It was a walk of remembrance, having difficult conversations, and our city manager may talk more about it. But it was a really interesting program to talk about some of the difficult history of the county, just talking about our history and legacy of lynchings and just racial tensions in the county. And they're having a few events to reconcile with this part of our history. And so really interesting attendees, and hope to be kept abreast of programs like this in the future. I just happened to find out about the program through searching. And so I don't think we received an official invite, but yeah, I think that's all I have to update everyone on. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Lorianne. We will move on to Ryan.
Thank you, Mayor. Not much this evening. Go Ravens. That was an exciting finish to the game last night. And congratulations to Ted Lasso and all the other Emmy winners. I enjoyed the opportunity to virtually attend the BioHealth Capital Region Forum. This is an event that happens every year, usually is hosted physically in the city of Gaithersburg at the AstraZeneca, formerly MedImmune campus, but obviously has been virtual these days. And it involved 2 days of leaders in the regional sciences, business community, political community coming together to talk about how we can continue to grow and improve the already thriving biohealth region in the greater Washington, D.C. area, including Gaithersburg. And the ongoing hope and strategy is to try and position the capital region to be one of the top 3 biohealth regions in the entire country. By many metrics, we are now 4th, so we are close. And hopefully in the next year or 2, we will get to the top 3. I also had the opportunity, along with the mayor and many other council members, to attend the Gaithersburg Germantown Chamber of Commerce annual wine tasting event at the Kentlands Mansion. It was a lovely evening, and thanks to the chamber. And that's all I've got this evening.
Thank you, Ryan. We'll go to Rob Wu.
Thanks, Mayor. Not much to add to that. I will add my own personal kudos to the staff at the water park. I was able to start having again, after COVID, my annual birthday parties for both of my children, who are old enough now that they want their own parties, even though they're born 2 weeks apart from each other. So, but absolutely wonderful experience. So kudos to them. I was very sad with the news of Charlie's passing. I was serving on the police advisory committee. I got to know him fairly well through discussions, and so I pay my condolences and respect to his family for that. And that's all I've got. Thanks, Mayor.
Thanks, Rob. And thanks for sharing the story about the birthday parties. We appreciate that. We'll go to Neil Harris.
Thank you, Mayor. I attended the Coaches Appreciation Picnic along with several of our colleagues at the water park a couple of weeks, I guess, right at the beginning of September. It was a nice event to celebrate the people who coach our kids through our various recreation programs. Very nice day. Unfortunately, not a pool day, even though it was held at the water park, but a nice day and a nice time was had by all, and really glad that we could show appreciation to the people who take care of making sure our kids get out there and run around. Was very sad that we had some major events canceled, including the Labor Day picnic and fireworks, which I know all of us were looking forward to, as well as the upcoming Oktoberfest, which I guess will be held October of 2022, Lord willing, and the COVID finally calming down. Attended a meeting of the Transportation Committee, which at this point is down to 2 members. We had a new member new potential member who arrived, who I'm sure will put his name into nomination. I'm just mentioning that because I'd like to put out the word at this meeting that we need more members for that committee. We'd like to get it moving forward and present people with more information on transportation projects. The committee's been very focused on bicycling and done good work there, but we'd like to expand the charter of that committee to other forms of transportation. There are a number of transit projects that are being discussed by the county and other organizations, and I'd like to make sure that we get some citizen input to those as well. And I'll leave it at that, but I have an announcement to read. After a closed executive session, a closed meeting was held virtually by the mayor and city council on Monday, September 13th, 2021 at approximately 8:40 p.m. pursuant to a motion adopted unanimously. The meeting was proposed to be closed pursuant to the general provisions article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, section 3-305B7, consult with counsel to obtain legal advice, and section 8 of that same section, consult with staff, consultants, or other individuals about pending or potential litigation. An update was received on the transfer of land and development at 315 East Diamond Avenue, the Fishman Project. Present at the meeting were Mayor Ashman, council members Harris, Sales, Sesma, Spiegel, and Wu. Staff present were City Manager Briley, City Attorney Board, Deputy City Manager Enslinger, Assistant City Manager Lonergan, Deputy City Attorney Johnson, Planning Director Schlichting, and Economic Development Manager Disk. Upon conclusion of the discussion, the closed meeting was adjourned at approximately 8:59 p.m. And that's it for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Neil. We'll go to Mike Sesma.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I'll try not to repeat anything that we've already heard about. I do want to thank the Kentlands Community Foundation, who is the main sponsor for the Kentlands Lakelands 5K. I ran again this year. This will be, I think this was the 15th consecutive year, and Judd and I, the mayor and I, crossed the finish line together. So we both finished on our feet and running at a brisk pace for us. So congratulations, Mayor, on finishing. And it was a great event, and the public, the running public, certainly has been clamoring to have live in-person events, and it was a great one. So I want to thank all the sponsors and volunteers as well. Saturday night, I attended a along with Council Member Spiegel and Harris, the Musica Viva event, another KCF sponsored event, a classical music concert at the Kentlands Clubhouse Green. Great event, fantastic attendance, about somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 people in the audience. So I want to thank again the KCF for that wonderful concert. I want to announce a couple of events coming up, sponsored by the Kentlands Community Foundation, but also relevant to, I think, and opportunities for some entertainment. But first of all, this Friday, September 24th at 7 p.m. at the Kentlands Clubhouse Green, there'll be a program entitled Finding Fellowship. Now, this is important because we just named a new park that's related to this topic. This will present a documentary that tells the story of the community that built the Pleasant View Church in 1888. That church lies just across from Kentlands on Route 28. It's situated on 3 acres. It was purchased for $54 by 3 former enslaved residents of Montgomery County in 1868. The Pleasant View Historical Site was once the center of the African-American community of Quince Orchard. And Finding Fellowship also tells the story of the power of people coming together in the recent past to choose fellowship over division. And it's the organizers and creators of this documentary are actually residents of the area and descendants of those people some of those families that established the Pleasant View Church, graduates of Quince Orchard High School. This is being presented by the new Urbanism Committee of the Kentlandsville Society and the Kentlands Community Foundation in cooperation with the Kentlands Citizen Assembly and the city of Gaithersburg. It's a free event, and so you're invited to attend. There'll be a discussion of the documentary afterwards. There's a lot to learn. We now remember that we've just named our newest park, which is under development, Pleasant View Park, on the former Consumer Product Safety Commission site near the Washingtonian Woods neighborhood. So maybe you'll understand why we decided to name that park after you see this this documentary. Let's see, the Manhattan Short Film Festival, also a Kentlands Community Foundation event, will be held September 29th and 30th and October 1st at the Gaithersburg Arts Barn. I'm not sure if there's still tickets available, but check it out. You can go to the Kentlands Community Foundation site or the city's website to find out more about that. One of the things I wanted to add to Ryan's cheering on the Ravens, well, the Maryland Terrapins football team is 3-0 right now. It's been a long time since that happened, since we could say that, so go Terps. Finally, I want to remind everybody, since our last meeting, the certification of candidates running for open seats on the city council and the mayor there were 5 candidates certified for 2 seats on the city council and 2 candidates certified for the position of mayor. Their names are Judd Ashman for mayor, Stephen Escobar for mayor, David Bellegarde, James McNulty, Jamil Hernandez, Philip Cook, and Lisa Henderson are all running for 2. Those 5 are running for the 2 open seats for city council. You can find more information and profiles about each of these candidates on the city's webpage, gaithersburgmd.gov. Learn more about them and go directly to their website so you can learn a little bit more and more details. So candidate statements and bios, etc., and links to their individual websites. Encourage you to do that. I want to remind you to every registered voter in the city has received an application for a mail-in ballot. So you can return that and you will receive your ballot. You can deposit your ballot once you receive it in the US mail, or you can drop it at one of 6 Dropbox locations throughout the city. So make sure you vote. This will be the first time that everyone in the city will be able to vote by mail. You'll also be able to vote, if you don't vote by mail, to vote in person on Election Day. And I believe we also have an early voting date at the polls as well. I don't remember the dates for that, but we'll cover that in coming meetings. So take advantage of that. Democracy is a great process. Sometimes it's a little messy, but it works better when everybody participates. So please remember to vote. And so that's all I have tonight. Thank you very much. And it's good to be back to our regular meeting schedule.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate the camaraderie and finishing together at the 5K. It was a lot of fun. For some of us who are not natural runners, it was excruciating, but it was well worth it, and it was a great event. And since we talked about the Ravens and the Terps, I will mention that the Quince Orchard Cougars are 3-0 as well, representing our community. It's not the first time in a long time they've been 3-0. They're almost always getting to 3-0. But and I think we're sort of spoiled that way. But it's a wonderful program, and the games are so much fun. I still go to them after all these years. My son, who played on the team, graduated in 2007, and here I am in 2021 still going to these games. I want to associate myself with all the comments that have been made today. Appreciate everyone bringing up everything that you guys brought up. I will note that next week we have a work session. We'll receive a presentation from Montgomery County Planning Department's quarter forward plan. Same time, same place. However you're watching the video, however you're watching this meeting now, you can watch it again next week and participate if you'd like. And then the next regular meeting of the Mayor Council will be on Monday, October 4th. And as I understand it, we need to conduct an executive session this evening. We need a motion. Who'd like to? Mike, please.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the Mayor and City Council of the City of Gaithersburg conduct a closed executive session virtually by teleconference online today, Monday, September 20th, 2021, pursuant to the general provisions article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, Section 3-305B1I. The appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom it has jurisdiction. The topic to be discussed is a personnel matter to conduct the city manager's annual review.
Okay, Neil.
Second.
All right, I will call the roll. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. Council Vice President Sesma.
Aye.
Councilmember Harris.
Aye.
Councilmember Wu.
Aye.
Councilmember Sales.
Aye.
And Councilmember Spiegel.
Aye.
All right, carries unanimously. So we will have an executive session right after this meeting, and we will turn it over to Tanisha from the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor Ashman. I think I should respond to a couple of points that I was prompted by Councilmember Sales. Thank you for that, Councilmember Sales. Regarding the Walk of Remembrance, it was a wonderful event last Tuesday evening, as was described in partnership with a community organization. They asked if I would come and present a little bit about our 2021 to 2022 racial equity framework that was presented to the mayor and council earlier this year. And so I was able to provide the community members in attendance that evening an update on the framework, including the real connectivity to what they were discussing that evening, which is really kind of facing our history together. Not just the history of our nation, but looking specifically at Montgomery County and Gaithersburg, in our case, as we look to the future and not repeating our mistakes of the past. So it was a lovely evening, ended with a walk around the park by candlelight to remember those who lost their lives in lynching events in our community back in the 1800s. So that was last Tuesday. Councilmember Sales also mentioned a vaccine mandate. I just want to clarify that the city is preparing to respond to President Biden's announcement of a few weeks ago for the federal rule that will apply to all employers with 100 employees or more. That I would describe as a testing mandate. It will be mandatory testing required for any employee that is not vaccinated. We're looking at that in conjunction with expanding our on-site testing options in general. As we know, testing is one of the better tools that we can use to combat the spread of the virus. And particularly, we want to keep our workforce safe and our visitors to our facility safe. And everyone having access to testing, I think, will be important. But we want to make sure we're also in position to respond to the rule that will be is being prepared by the Department of Labor OSHA division that will come down and apply to all employers. So we're preparing for that. We'll be collecting information on our employees' vaccine status actually starting this week. So we'll have some information to report on the coverage for our workforce. And then I'd just like to thank Pete Cottrell, our IT director, who has announced his retirement. His last day will be October 1st, so it will be before our next regular city council meeting. So I wanted to take this opportunity this evening to thank Pete for his service. He's retiring after 39 years in the workforce, including 16 years as the city's IT director. Brian Helms, who serves currently as the star of our public comment video that we watch during our city mayor and city council meetings. Brian Helms has agreed to step up in the interim and serve as our acting director while the recruitment process is underway. So we want to thank Brian for stepping in and filling that gap for us, and certainly want to congratulate Pete on an outstanding, remarkable career throughout his entire career, and specifically the service that he has provided internally to the city of Gaithersburg, which allows us to serve our residents. So thanks to Pete. And that is all, Mayor Ashman.
Thank you, Tanisha. I'm so glad you brought up Pete Cottrell. I did call him the other day to congratulate him and express that we're going to miss him and thank him for his service. So I'm glad you brought that up. Lori, and I saw your hand. Go ahead.
I mentioned the Afghan rally and was wondering if we had any updates on any new arrivals or.
I don't have any updates at this time, but happy to follow up with that information.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. So I don't necessarily want to go back into from the mayor and council, but if any council member is burning to make a statement about Pete Cottrell, I'll give you like a few seconds to do it if you really want to. Otherwise, we're going to move on. Mike Sesma.
Well, apparently Pete and I started working for the city or working with the city in an official capacity about the same time. So it's been a great, Pete has provided great support, made sure he's had a really good team members that support all of us and support all of our staff and provide a lot of resources that our residents can take advantage of as well. So I want to congratulate him on his decision, his well-deserved retirement, and thank him for his service and his great interest in baseball, which we have in common. So thanks very much, Pete. Good luck.
All right, thanks, Mike. Rob Wu, please.
Thanks, Mayor. Just quickly, Pete has provided wonderful support to us and to me throughout my time here. What I do appreciate most about him is running into him and his wife at all the various events. It really showed a true dedication even outside of the job. I'm not sure he supported the Kentlands 5K, but I will note that I checked the times and you actually did beat Mike by a few seconds, and just wanted to note that. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. We finished at the same time. We totally crossed the finish line together. And that's the last we're going to talk about that. And I also want to thank Brian Helms for stepping up in the interim. That's great. Okay, tech team, if you could bring up Tom Lonergan, our assistant city manager, to give us our economic development update, that'd be great.
Felt like that took a while, Mr. Mayor. Hope you can hear me.
Go right ahead. We didn't hear anything until just now.
Thank you, sir. While we're talking about retirement, I'll start with another recognition. Louise Kaufman, Gaithersburg's longtime Housing and Community Development Chief, is retiring on the same day as Pete. I don't think that was coordinated, more coincidental, but after 21 years of dedicated service to the city, she will be leaving us. As you know, Louise has skillfully administered many of the city's grant programs, its annual CDBG allocation, and its myriad of housing and community development programs and initiatives, all requiring a great deal of work and attention to detail for which Louise was a master. During her tenure, Louise strove to continually market and enhance the city's affordable housing programs, its GALP program in particular, make sure that they were available and accessible to those most in need of support from us. She's worked hard on behalf of our residents, and I do want to thank her for her 2+ decades of service on their behalf, as well as ours. The Housing and Community Development Manager job opening has been posted on the city's website, among other locations, and applications are currently being accepted. Until the position is filled, the division will be overseen by Sharon Disk, who will serve temporarily as the acting Housing and Community Development Manager, with Patty Mezzarina continuing her good work as our grants administrator. Congratulations again, Louise, on the retirement, and best wishes in the new chapter in life. Secondly, and finally, I did want to mention that the General Services Administration auction of the former Nike missile site at 770 Muddy Branch Road does continue. Unlike previous disposition of surplus federal land, this site and a small collection of quote unquote high value properties are the first to be sold by the GSA via the Federal Asset Sale and Transfer Act, or FASTA. The first bidder entered the auction on August 26th with the required minimum bid of $2 million. Assessed value per the Maryland Department of Assessment and Taxation is about $2.2 million for the 13.71 acre parcel. It's zoned MXD, and potential redevelopment could include residential and commercial uses. Yet to be determined are the impacts of various existing conditions, things such as potential environmental limitation on type of future uses, and demolition of older improvements being the primary unknowns. However, bidding has been brisk. The auction will not end until activity has ceased for 24 hours. As of midday today, the price had reached $7.85 million, and the end of auction clock was reset to 2:55 tomorrow afternoon. So far, 11 anonymous bidders have participated. City staff did assist GSA representatives with identification of site-related data and the marketing of the property. Later this year or in early 22, we do expect that this property will return to the tax rolls. To whom it ultimately transfers and for what purpose remains unknown right now, but I will keep you posted after the bidding ends and we get a better sense of what may lie ahead for the site. That's all I have for tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Tom. That's really interesting, and particularly that the price has escalated so much during this auction. But I wanted to go back to your first point and join you in thanking Louise for her service and expressing our gratitude to someone who really oversaw the execution of our affordable housing since its inception in 2006. That's meant a great deal to us, in addition to all the other things she's done. But that I know has a special place in the council's heart. So please express our gratitude to Louise. Anybody want to add anything to Tom or to Louise? Mike, please go ahead.
Yeah, I've worked with Louise since we passed our affordable housing ordinance. She was a big part of that organization and developing of that legislation. Believe it or not, the city of Gaithersburg did not have an affordable housing ordinance until that was passed in 2006. So she worked very hard on getting it set up, and then once it was passed, and implemented it and began the implementation of it. So she's been dedicated to that mission and that effort in the city. So we owe her a great deal of thanks. And I know a number of people who live in Gaithersburg now, because of our program, probably feel the same way. Very appreciative of her efforts. So I feel congratulations to Louise on her decision to take the next step to another career in retirement. I'm gonna miss her, but I won't have much to do with that officially, other than being a resident that advocates for affordable housing in the city. So thank you, Louise, for all of your effort.
All right, thanks, Mike. Not seeing any other hands. Thank you, Tom. We'll move on to ordinances, resolutions, and regulation. Oh, I see. Wait, I see Lorianne's hand. Go ahead, Lorianne.
Yes, I just want to quickly echo Mike's comments. And since I've been on the council, Louise has evolved our affordable housing program, and we were able to create the senior assistance program for rental assistance for seniors. And so just want to echo those comments and thank her for all of her service to all of our residents, to keep them housed, and wish her all the best in her next chapter.
Thank you, Lorianne. I'm sure we can all get behind that for sure. Okay, Tom, thank you very much. And we will move on to ordinances, resolutions, and regulations, and invite tech team, if you could bring up Sean Stevens, please, from our Public Works Department. And we're going to talk about the purchase of 7 police interceptor utility and all-wheel drive base hybrid vehicles. And Tony Berger, our Director of Public Works. Sean, go right ahead.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. The resolution before you tonight is to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract for the purchase of 7 police interceptor utility all-wheel drive hybrid vehicles. In the FY22 operating budget, a new police vehicle was approved as an addition to the fleet. This vehicle will be a marked 2022 Ford hybrid police interceptor utility. Additionally, 4 unmarked police cars, units 7862, 7864, 7869, and 7874, along with 2 planning and code vehicles, units 1502 and 1505, are approaching the end of their useful service life. Due to their age, condition, mileage, and/or reliability, these vehicles were scheduled for replacement in the FY22 budget. Once these replacement vehicles, which are 4 unmarked 2022 Ford hybrids and 2 2022 Ford hybrid utility all-wheel drive vehicles, are ready for service, these 6 vehicles will be the 6 existing vehicles will be sold at public auction. Staff recommends utilizing the state of Maryland contract to purchase these 7 vehicles from Apple Ford Incorporated in the amount of $249,451. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you, Sean. Questions, comments? Rob Wu.
Thanks, Mayor, and thank you, Sean. I support this and just wanted to ask a question about whether the city saw the county's recent announcement on the Mach-E's, which look sweet, and whether or not we are considering those as potential vehicles in the future.
We are considering all possibilities in the future. I don't know if any of you are aware, but just recently we purchased 3 fully electric vehicles, 1 for the police department, which will be used for the parking enforcement officer, and 2 for the facilities division in public works for pool vehicles. So we are moving in that direction, and we are considering all options moving forward.
Okay, yeah, I'll note I don't know the specs on the vehicle, only how awesome it looked. And it's electric.
All right, I saw Mike's hand go up. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I think the first part of the Mach-E actually begins with Mustang. So, there's a pony car there somehow. Sean, it's my understanding we already have a few of these hybrid interceptors, and apparently operationally they've done great. So I think it's maybe you can tell us a little bit about how many we have now, and when we're going to add 7 to the fleet, how many we'll have in total.
Correct. I mean, police vehicle wise, we currently have 10 in service. We bought 4 in FY20 and we bought 6 last fiscal year. So these 5 additional police vehicles will take us up to 15. We also are using some hybrid vehicles throughout the city. And as I just discussed with you, we have 3 fully electric vehicles on order right now. Well,
yeah, I think it's great. This fits with our strategy to for our sustainability efforts in terms of energy efficiency and, just getting behind our position as being a green, a city that leads in green. So I'm glad to move this resolution.
Okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a second? Rob Wu.
Second.
Okay, I will call the roll. Council Vice President Sesma.
Aye.
Councilmember Harris.
Aye.
Councilmember Wu.
Aye.
Councilmember Sales.
Aye.
And Councilmember Spiegel.
Aye.
All right, carries 5-0. And Sean, you're with us for the next item as well. Go right ahead.
This resolution before you tonight is to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract for the purchase of one Ford F-650 crew cab bucket truck. Unit 2406, a 2008 Chevrolet bucket truck, has reached the end of its useful service life. Due to its age, condition, and reliability, it was scheduled for replacement in the FY22 budget. The bucket truck is an essential piece of equipment for both winter lights and all city forestry operations. The Department of Public Works wishes to utilize the state of Maryland contract to purchase this vehicle. Staff obtained a check price to ensure this was in the best interest of the city. The check price reflected a 5% savings by utilizing a state of Maryland contract. Once the replacement vehicle is placed into service, Unit 2406 will be sold at public auction. Staff recommends utilizing a state of Maryland contract to purchase this vehicle from Apple Ford Incorporated in the amount of $153,749. Do you have any questions for me?
Questions, comments? If not, would someone like to move the resolution? I saw Rob's hand go up first.
Thanks, Mayor. So moved.
Okay, Mike?
Second.
Okay, I'll call the roll. Council Vice President Sesma.
Aye.
Councilmember Harris.
Aye.
Councilmember Wu.
Aye.
Councilmember Sales.
Aye.
And Councilmember Spiegel.
Aye.
All right, carries unanimously. Sean, go right ahead with the next one.
And this final resolution before you tonight is to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract for the purchase of a Toro Groundsmaster 5910 wide area mower. Just an aside, the wide area is 16 feet wide, so it mows 16-foot swaths. And this mower is used by our parks maintenance division for all of the parks mowing and large area mowings that we have. Unit number 8919, a 2011 Toro 5910 wide area mower, has reached the end of its useful service life. Due to the age, condition, and reliability, this unit needs to be replaced. Once the replacement mower, a 2022 Toro Groundsmaster 5910, is ready for service, Unit 8919 will be sold at public auction. The Department of Public Works wishes to utilize the state of Maryland contract to purchase this piece of equipment. Staff obtained a check price to ensure this was the best value for the city. The check price reflected an approximate 5.5% savings by utilizing the state of Maryland contract. Staff recommends utilizing the state of Maryland contract to purchase this vehicle from Turf Equipment and Supply Company Incorporated in the amount of $126,637. Do you have any questions for me?
Questions, comments? Mike Sesma.
Yeah, Sean, we were talking earlier, and then each of these, the previous two and this resolution talk about how when we take the vehicles out of service, that they'll go to auction. Can you tell us how your team, our public works team, does a really good job of maintaining the equipment, so we get a good value out of them. So how do they do when we auction them? Are we getting a fair price? I'm assuming there's still usable life in these vehicles. But
there is. Years ago, we traded in a lot of our equipment when we were buying new pieces of equipment, new vehicles. But we found that we weren't getting the best price for the city doing it that way. So we moved to this public auction using govdeals.com, and it's worked out really well. Just as an aside, part of my research in verifying this state contract, I saw several Toro Groundsmasters that were about the same age of us. And I don't know if they were owned by municipal government or if they were owned privately, but they were still at bidding at around $45,000. And it was still, the bids were still coming in on it. So I expect to get a fair return for our unit that we sell when it goes up, but obviously we never know how it's going to turn out in an auction.
Thank
But
you.
we do set minimums. So yes, I think we do a good job with turning over our fleet via the auction process.
That's great. That auction, I guess that revenue does help us offset some of these expenses and contribute to the future equipment replacement fund as well. So thanks.
Yes, sir.
Lorianne, I saw your hand go up earlier.
Yes, I was just going to move the approval of the
Resolution.
the resolution for the ground master.
Okay, Neil?
Second.
All right, I will call the roll. Council Vice President Sesma,
Aye.
Councilmember Harris,
Aye.
Councilmember Wu,
Aye.
Councilmember Sales,
Aye.
and Councilmember Spiegel.
Aye.
All right. Thank you very much. Carries 5-0. Appreciate our public works guys. Appreciate you guys being with us. Next, tech team, if you could bring up Kim Yocklin, please. We're going to talk about amending the charter for the city, for the mayor and city council salary and benefits package compensation. Kim, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You have before you two charter amendments that incorporate adjustments to the salary and benefits for the mayor and city council. As you are aware, a committee is appointed every 4 years per the charter to review the compensation and benefits of the mayor and city council, as well as the stipend afforded to members of other appointed bodies. The committee did make recommendations for changes, and two charter amendments were introduced on June 21st, and a consolidated public hearing was held on July 19th. The record was held open for 32 days, closing at 5 p.m. on August 20th. There were no speakers from the public during the course of the public hearing, and no public comments related to these charter amendments were received during the record holding period. The draft charter amendments have been included in your packets and are ready by separate motions for final action should the council so choose.
Thank you, Kim. Questions, comments? If not, we actually have two resolutions before us. One to amend section 5 of the city charter, and one to amend section 16 of the city charter. So we'll have to do two different motions. Rob Wu.
Thanks, Mayor. Move the resolution to amend section 5 of the charter.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mike.
I'll second the resolution, the motion to approve the resolution amending section 5 of the city charter.
Okay, I will call the roll. Council Vice President Sesma.
Aye.
Councilmember Harris.
Aye.
Councilmember Wu.
Aye.
Councilmember Sales.
Aye.
And Councilmember Spiegel.
Aye.
All right, next we have the resolution amending section 16. Mike.
I'll move the resolution of the mayor and city council amending section 16 of the city charter so as to amend the salary and benefits of the mayor.
Okay, Neil.
Second the motion.
Okay, I will call the roll. Council Vice President Sesma.
Aye.
Councilmember Harris.
Aye.
Councilmember Wu.
Aye.
Councilmember Sales.
Aye.
And Councilmember Spiegel.
Aye.
Okay, both carry unanimously. Thank you very much, Kim. We appreciate your work on this.
Thank you.
And we will move from the city attorney.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I just wanted to very briefly follow up on Mike Sesma's comments. He did a great job of talking about mail-in voting. But I did want to certainly stress that we do offer two options for in-person voting. There will be early voting on October 23rd, which is a Saturday, and Sunday, October 24th from 10 to 5, and then also in-person voting on Election Day itself, November 2nd from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. All of the early voting opportunities will happen at the Activity Center at Borough Park. And that's it for this evening.
Thank you very much, Lynn. I got a note from Dennis that he did not have anything additional for us this evening. So I'm assuming that we have nothing more from staff at this point. And I will remind everyone to join us for the work session next week on the quarter forward plan from Montgomery County, and next regular meeting of the Mayor and Council will be on October 4th. And we will be going into closed executive session immediately following this meeting. Until next time, let's do great things, Gaithersburg. We are adjourned.